have for me in terms of senior living, the caregiver process, anything that I can understand to help you. Next week, we will have caregiving calls for a strong inner self. Following that, we'll be giving from an empty cup, tools for self-nurturing, drawing out your own inner healer, setting boundaries and limits to make time for yourself. Caregiving requires quieting the inner critic, which I think is going to be very interesting. And lastly, caregivers deserve personal dreams, colleging your dream. Welcome, Dr. Marsha. And for those that you have joined, welcome to tonight. And I look forward in working with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anya. What a treat to be back. I just felt like Monday nights were missing something when we were not all together. And I am so grateful tonight that we have our Malaysian family back. Now are able, and anybody else from Mexico, Canada, and all the other countries that are joining us, welcome back. I know last time was a struggle, but we made it happen. So thank you, Kensington. I'm Dr. Marsha Nelson. As Anya said, she and I have been working together for quite some time now, and it's just a pleasure to work with Kensington Place, Redwood City. Tonight, Monday, May 2nd, 2022, 5 o'clock here, the Pacific Daylight Time, we are going to be talking about burnout. Wow. How many of you have gone and pushed yourself so far that you felt totally burned out and you weren't good for yourself or anyone else? You know, what our message is for this night is that we start to take care of ourselves in the best way we can. And what I want to share with you, this whole series is going to be based on the inner family. Dr. Lucia Capacchione, her book, The Recovery of Your Inner Child. Some of you may have this. You can get it at Amazon, Recovery of Your Inner Child. It's her best-selling book. She wrote it back in the 90s. And at the time that she wrote it, she was having to go to the mailbox with a bushel basket to pick up the letters. The fan mail was incredible. A lot of the 12-step programs were using her work, and they said that her book, The Recovery of Your Inner Child, was the next step to healing. So I hope that during this series of 7 sessions, you will find the healing where you need it in your life. There are the rules in this program. There are no right or wrong. Whatever comes up for you during this program will be exactly what you need to know about your life. And I'll also share this with you too. Caregivers, it is sometimes really difficult to take care of yourself because you're so trained to give. But to be a good caregiver, we all must take care of ourselves. That is our duty. That is our responsibility. We can't go to work saying, oh, I'm burned out and I'm tired. Shame on you, because somewhere you have overdone it for yourself. So we're going to work on that during these 7 sessions to keep you from burning out. This is the prescription for burnout. And music and art are all really wonderful, wonderful avenues to find your happy place. What I would really like to recommend is tonight, all you're going to need is your journal and your online paper. And if you have some colored markers, oh, perfect. Bring your markers or, your pen so that you can get started. Now we're going to be tapping into that right hemisphere of the brain. And I'm going to see if I can't just share this with you. Tonight, we're going to be teaching, I hope everyone can see this. What we're going to be teaching about is the inner family. And in order to keep yourself from burning out, this is the way, according to Dr. Capacchione, it's our psyche is constructed. We're able to find these inner parts of ourselves. And tonight, what we're going to be doing is self-nurturing. You see,
Dr. Marsha, we're not able to hear you.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So what are we doing wrong here? Okay.
Apologies, everybody. We have a technical difficulty. Please be patient while we figure this
Well,
out.
let's just
Dr. Marsha, can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me?
I hear you. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So we will figure this out. Please be patient.
Okay, let's see.
I can hear
Dr.
both
Marsha, why
Marsha
don't you
and
sign
Anya.
in and then sign back out, or vice versa, and I will be on standby.
Okay, just a minute. We'll figure this out.
I can hear both of you perfectly.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, is there somebody that can't hear us here?
I can hear as well.
I can
Oh,
hear both. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. So I guess I'm on then. I'll turn up the volume. Is that better? A little higher volume?
Dr. Marsha, I think it's me and not everyone else can hear you, so please proceed.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about, let me see here. New share. Okay. Oh. There, the inner family. Tonight, we're going to be talking about this nurturing parent, the inner part of you that is nurturing and taking care of you. All right. And so I will be showing you this diagram during the 7 sessions, and we're going to be talking about which part of us, in order to be the best caregiver, we need to concentrate on. So tonight we're going to concentrate on your nurturing parent. All right. And the definition of a nurturing parent is, I'm here for the inner child and love him or her unconditionally. The inner child tells me his or her feelings and needs. I do what I can to meet them. So that is the definition of the nurturing parent. Now, if you would like this diagram, I am happy to send it to you. All you need to do is let me know, and you're going to tell me. I'll put it in the chat box tonight, and that way you can, I'll send it to you, okay? And I also send out, I do a agenda for every class. So if you want to share this with someone or you want to take the class again, just email me. And again, like before the class is over, I will give you my email and contact information. So what we're going to be talking about now, if you'll get out your markers and your paper, and I always invite you to use music when we are doing this. And what we're going to be doing is playing this nice soft music in the background when I give you a journaling activity. I have found when I try to play the music, one, it's not all the music is something that everybody appreciates. Two, these speakers just don't cut it when it comes to putting music across. I don't want to hurt your ears. So I am inviting everyone in the 7 series to find some music, find your own player, and if it's headsets or whatever it is, but you know, classical music is good. Mozart is fabulous. Mozart for children, you know, you can always look that up. But we're going to be helping you tap into the right hemisphere of your brain. All right. And how we do that in this work in the Creative Journal Expressive Arts Method, we use both the dominant and the non-dominant hand. Now you see me handing up my left hand. My left hand is my dominant hand. Most of you would be just the opposite. Your dominant would be your right hand, but my left hand is my dominant. So my non-dominant is my right hand. I am sure that most of you are non-dominant is your left hand. So when I say non-dominant hand, you're going to put the marker, the crayon, whatever utensil you're using, and you're going to put it in your non-dominant hand. But we're going to be doing some journaling, writing questions with the dominant hand, the regular writing hand. We are always going to answer with the non-dominant hand, the hand you normally don't write with. So if you have any questions about that during the 7 sessions, trust me, you'll get it. And I will always feed it back to you and give you the instructions. I try to do that very carefully so that we're all on the same page. So if everyone is ready, what I want you to do with your dominant hand, your regular writing hand, I want you to write the date on the top of the first page. Anytime we journal, I want you to write the date on the first page. And today is May 2nd, 2022, or 5/02/22, however you write it. All right. So now you have the date on your paper. That's perfect. Now, if you have markers, that's fun because markers are colored, and that we call this inner child work because we tap into the right hemisphere of our brain where you were dominant when you were a child. When you were born, that part of your brain was the dominant part. It's the feeling, the creative, it's the connection to your higher power, it's intuition, it's all of that, the right hemisphere of the brain. So we're going to tap into that. We're going to return you to the right hemisphere, but we're also going to use the left hemisphere, which is, I call it the school brain. Your reading, your writing, your math, all of that is the left hemisphere. So we're going to use the whole brain during these classes. Isn't it better to use your whole brain than what you've been using, just the left hemisphere, the dominant side? So now we're going to use both. So what I want you to do now, find a color of marker or your pen, whatever works for you. And I want you to draw your inner child a picture of itself. So whatever that would look like with a non-dominant hand, just begin drawing what your inner child would like. Now, it doesn't have to look humanoid. It could look like anything. Don't judge it. Just allow your non-dominant hand to begin drawing what your inner child would look like. And you can put lots of color on it because kids love color. So you are creating your inner child. And if you have soft music, this is the time to play it to help you get into the right hemisphere of their brain, because that's where that's where we connect with music. Okay, I'm going to give you a good minute to draw that inner child. Okay, 30 more seconds. All right, in the picture now, I want you to include some people, some things, some places and activities that your inner child likes best. So begin drawing the non-dominant hand. Maybe you make stick figures for the people. Maybe you make stick animals. This isn't about art. We're not going to be grading this. This is just like you would see cave art, right? I'm not an artist, all right? So I just make stick figures and they work for me. So I want you to feel very comfortable with this work. If a voice comes in your head and says, oh, look at you, that's messy. Well, sure, you're using your non-dominant hand. So with that non-dominant hand, let's put some people, some things it likes to do. Maybe your inner kid like to be out digging in the garden, or or playing ball, or whatever it liked to do. Just include those pictures around that inner child. I'm going to give you a good minute to do that. Another 30 seconds. Okay, if you go to the chat box, I have put some instructions in there. With the dominant hand, you're going to find maybe another page in your journal, or you could, wherever, remember, no right or wrong, wherever you have room, maybe on another sheet of paper, but you're going to now have a dialogue with that inner child. And what I mean by dialogue, you're going to ask it some questions, and I put those in the chat box. You're going to ask it how it feels. Look at the picture, look at the people and the activities and the animals and everything around it. And you're going to say, and I will write it right here, a good question with the dominant hand. Okay, and how do you feel? All right, you're going to ask that inner child how it feels, and you're going to let the inner child answer with the non-dominant hand. And NDH stands for non-dominant hand. Okay. So the question number one, with your regular writing hand, you will write the question, how do you feel? And the little inner child in that picture is going to answer you back. Now, you may have not been to my classes before, and you may think, what is this woman is crazy? Well, you know what? Just follow crazy and let's see how this turns out. So what I want you to do now with that non-dominant hand, I want that little inner child to start writing how it feels in that picture. And again, if you have the music, this is a lovely time to play that music. Now, this writing is not going to be perfect. It's maybe be misspelled. It may look kind of funky because it's your non-dominant hand. Just like when you started school, they didn't grade you in penmanship right away. So don't worry about that, all right? If that voice comes in there and says, oh, look at you, send the voice out. You can go get it later. It's called the inner critic. We all have it. We're going to learn about it. Send the voice away, okay? Now I'm going to put up question number 2. If you're not through with number 1, that's perfect. Just keep on writing. Number 2, it's already in your chat box. And that question is, with the dominant hand, you're going to write with your regular writing hand. What do you like or need from me? What would you like or do you need from me? And then the inner child is going to tell you, that little child in the picture that you just drew, it's going to be telling you what it would like or what it needs from you. Okay, and if you are finished with that one, the next question I have up in the chat box, again, the dominant hand always writes the question. Always, just remember that. That's just the hard and fast rule. Rules are always dominant hand, your regular writing hand, your school hand, okay? What favorite things or activities do I turn to when I need nurturing? Now you're going to answer that. Your inner self is going to answer through the non-dominant hand. That would be probably your left hand. Probably. Most of you are dominant right. So your left hand is your non-dominant hand. We don't talk about left and right in here. We talk about dominant and non-dominant. So your non-dominant hand is going to answer that. So maybe you look back at your picture and you see some of the items in that picture that you drew in the beginning. You can name those, but name them with the non-dominant hand. I'm giving you a few minutes to do that, 2 minutes.
Marsha,
Yes.
can you please repeat your question, please?
It's in the chat box, the question. It's question, what favorite things or activities do I turn to when I need nurturing? So answer with a non-dominant hand, and you can go back and look at your picture again. Maybe some of those items in your picture, or maybe something else comes to mind that would help you nurture yourself. Because when we get burned out, that means we're not taking care of ourselves. And I spoke with Anya before class, and she said, I turned my phone off all weekend. That's nurturing. That is nurturing. She is not going to let the outside world interfere with her inside life. Is that clear to everybody? So what are you doing to nurture yourself? Some people may go get a pedicure. Some maybe go get a massage. Some take a walk. Some take a bubble bath. Some read a good book. Some watch television. There's a lot of things we can do to take care of us and disconnect from the outside. So you want to write a list, because these are items that you can go back to later when you feel burned out and you start feeling angry. You know the signs that you're getting burned out. Depressed and tired. Those are all signs of burnout. So what do we do to balance that out? If you're anybody not clear, just go ahead and open it up and ask. I'm right here. I want you to get as much out of this as you can. Another 30 seconds for this part. Okay, if you're finished, I want you to go back and reread what you've written, because now you're using the left hemisphere of your brain. I want you to go back and reread, because that is going to give you some really great insight. Again, and a lot of times when we're reading it, the right hemisphere that said, oh, and do this or do that. So write it down. If any other information comes as you read it, and look at your picture. I want you to really take account. This is your inner self speaking to you. This is we call it the inner child. All we mean by that is your emotional self, your intuitive self, your artistic self, all of that we call the inner child. All of the parts of you that when you were born, until you started school, and then school got a hold of you and it took you to the left brain, and you know the spelling words and the math and all of that. That's where you bought out and you stayed over there in that left brain. Unless you're very, very creative and you are nurtured for your creativity, maybe your music, maybe your art, ceramics, whatever that art form was, then you most likely have your right hemisphere of your brain has sorely been missing you. So in these 7 weeks, you're going to feel some changes, and they're changes for the good, because what you are doing is reconnecting and making new neuronal pathways, new pathways. So you're going to start thinking differently. You're going to start talking differently. People maybe will come into your life that you haven't met before. Maybe people will leave. You're not fighting with them. It's just that you're growing. And everyone on this class tonight loves themselves enough that they are here to get some tools to live their best life. And I applaud every one of you, because every one of you could have been somewhere else. There's a million things to do, but you made a conscious choice tonight to be here to help yourself so that you don't end up in the medical system and have to repair yourself. You're doing preventative medicine right here. This is your prescription for your caregiver. Okay, so now what I want you to do is get a clean piece of paper or another page in your unlined journal. And you see, I say unlined. Why do I say unlined? Well, you know, lines on a paper allow the inner critic to come in and say, oh, you went over the line, or oh, you went too far. See, our minds want to always keep us safe and right. So we like to use unlined paper and journals in this class. Just eliminate any chances the inner critic can get a hold of you, okay? So what I want you to do is find a new piece of paper or another page, and we're gonna write a love letter to your inner child. You are gonna write a love letter. Now, we're gonna do this with a dominant hand, because this is your parent voice writing to that sweet little child in that picture. And what I'd like for you to do right now is that inner child in that picture with your non-dominant hand, just give it an age. Was it 6, you think, in the picture? Is it 7? Is it 12, 15? Just go back to the picture and just put a number, how old you felt that inner child was in your picture. It's always interesting for you, all right? Just for your own, you know, no one's gonna look. And also during these 7 weeks, and anytime you work with me, I want you to be very careful about who you share this information with. Because I'm going to tell you what, the minute you share this information, or you show them your inner child picture, or you read anything to them and they're going to be critical of you, those people aren't safe. You know who those people are in your life. They're going to criticize, they're going to judge you, they're going to laugh at you. Don't go there. We're going to talk about that in these 7 sessions about your protective parent. Tonight, we're working with the nurturing, but we're going to get to the protective parent. So make sure that you protect whatever you do. Now, one of my students said he used to keep his journal in the trunk of his car because he didn't want anybody to see what he wrote. So you put that journal away wherever you know it's safe. Don't leave it on the coffee table and expect people not to read it, because they're curious. And they're going to see that funny writing in there, and they're going to be really curious. So be cautious, okay? That's just a little word of the wise from Dr. Marsha. All right, so here we go back with a love letter to the inner child, dominant hand. You're going to start it with a lovely opening. Dear sweet child, or your name. And then you're going to write and tell the child about all the special and unique qualities it has and how much you love it. So I'm going to write that in the chat box, some of the things you can say. Now, I'm also going to say you might need to apologize to your inner child, because some of us have been neglecting our inner child, haven't we? Yes. Especially if you're a caregiver. You have totally ignored your inner child to take care of someone else. All right. So you might need to apologize to the inner child. You just say, I'm sorry. I haven't been listening, but I'm here now. I'm going to listen. I'm going to take these 7 classes, and I promise I'm going to listen to you. You need apologizing. And you're going to also tell it about what qualities you admire in your inner child. Okay. And tell it how special it is. So here are some questions in the chat box that you might use as a guideline. And you are going to tell it how much you love it. And maybe you need to say, I know you've been caregiving a lot, and I apologize because I am going to find someone to help me now, help with this project. All right, and at the end of the letter, make sure that you write a loving ending. Also, make sure you date this page, 5/02/2022 or May 2nd, 2020. You always want to date the letter because you'll look back at it sometime and go, wow, look. So with a regular writing hand, this is a parent writing to a child, write to that sweet child that is in that picture. So I'm going to give you 6 minutes to do that. And that would bring us up to 48 minutes past the hour. Now, this is a beautiful time to put some music on, some soft, gentle music to do this, writing the love letter. You may need to get some tissue, if you have any tissue, because sometimes it makes us sad when we think about the things we haven't done for ourselves. Okay. So let's get started. If you have a question, put it in the chat box, please. I'm right here. Okay, I'm going to give you 30 more seconds. You can always go back to this letter. And if you finish the letter, go back and reread it to yourself and really take it in. This love letter to your inner child. Okay. Well, we're going to move on because I have one more activity for us to do this evening. And so I'm going to ask you to go back again to the chat box, and you're going to see activity number 4. Now in your journal on another page, or a clean piece of paper, or on the back of something, I would like for you to draw a picture, this time DH. Remember what that stands for, dominant hand, your regular writing hand. This time your inner parent, your nurturing parent, drawing a picture of the nurturing parent caring for your inner child. That sweet inner child that you drew in the beginning of our session tonight, now you're going to show the nurturing parent taking care of that inner child. So with your dominant hand, go ahead and begin drawing that. Now, again, I'm not an artist, so stick figures or gingerbread people really work well for me. So if that works well for you, please just go ahead and do it. But show a nurturing. Now, it doesn't have to look humanoid. It could be anything. It could be a flower opening. You know, we don't judge here. Remember, no right or wrong. So whatever comes up for you, that is what it's meant to be. So draw a picture of your nurturing parent caring for your inner child. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do this.
Marsha,
Yes.
is this done with the dominant hand?
Yes, it's when you see the DH, yes, always. It's the nurture.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I missed that.
Okay, 30 more seconds. And if any words come up for you, you can always write words down that reminds you of what you need. We just want to capture as much information as we can. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to invite anybody, if you would like to share how it was for you tonight, we'd be happy to hear. And also what I put in the chat box is my contact information. You can do a screenshot if you want to take your phone and take some pictures. And the other thing is, next week, we're going to have the title, Caregiving Calls for a Stronger Inner Self. So we're going to talk about that protective inner parent. Remember, we talked about the nurturing parent tonight. What is that about? Caring for yourself like a newborn baby. That's all the mom does, or the dad does, or whomever cares for the new child. It just makes sure it's fed and it's loved and it's dry and it's safe. That's all. That's all it has to do. But we're going to find that protective parent, your inner protective parent, next week. I really recommend, if you get a chance, you can go online and buy The Recovery of Your Inner Child by Dr. Lucia Capacchione. Some of you may have the book. I put it in the chat box, the name of the book. We're going to be using this book for 7 sessions. And in the outline that I did, I have the page numbers that we use tonight. So if you really want to delve into this work and really start healing yourself, this book, I will tell you why I was drawn to the Creative Journal Expressive Arts work by Dr. Lucia Capacchione, was because she had just written this book in 1992. I met her. This was just coming out. And I met her at a friend's home at a luncheon. And I went to her workshop and I knew, I was in therapy at the time. And talk therapy wasn't working for me. Now I know it's wonderful. A lot of people get such great help with talk therapy. And they probably have an amazing therapist. But for me, personally, I felt like I needed more. And this book absolutely changed my life. It saved my marriage. It changed my life. So I really, really, really recommend that you go to Amazon. You can get used copies for $3 or $4, I'm sure. But I really recommend that you get this book. If you're going to be in the 7 series, you're going to want this book and you're going to want to share it with other people. And if you're a parent, there's no better time than to work with your children and start giving them some of these tools, how to protect themselves. Because let me tell you, I have worked for many years in the schools. I have a master's degree in elementary education. And, you know, teachers have a hard time helping their children emotionally. They don't have the tools. So if you don't give your children tools and your grandchildren tools, emotional tools, where are they going to learn them? On the street? Where? So I really recommend that you hang with us for these 7 sessions and that you invite your friends. Anybody can come. And where can you get? It's almost like free therapy, an hour of some amazing work. Now, That brings up another subject. If you are currently in therapy, I highly recommend that you take this work to your therapist and you show them and you explain what you're learning, because this may be insightful for your therapist. They may not know about Dr. Capacchione. Many therapists do, okay, but some don't. So I really recommend that you share this work with whomever you trust, okay? So with that being said, everything I have in the chat box, I believe, for tonight. And again, if you email me, and I see Lori Jo, yes, I will be happy to send you the agenda. And anybody else, I will need your email address. So what you'll do is go to the chat box, find my email, Marsha Nelson, PhD @gmail.com. And you can email me and I'll send you all the information. The handout that we're going to use, that the inner family, I just think that's just the best. The inner family, and you can teach this to your children, to your friends, your neighbors, your loved ones. But I want to share with you this one tip. The more you share this work and teach it, the more you will understand it, and the better you will heal, the faster you'll heal. Because we all have broken places. There is nobody, until you leave this earth, there is absolutely no one who doesn't need this. And I'm going to ask you that are putting the information in the chat box for your email, you need to email me, Marsha Nelson, PhD, because this is going to close when I get finished and I won't see this, okay? So just email me, Marsha Nelson, PhD @gmail.com, so that I will just be able to send back the information. I appreciate that. Thank you. So I hope that you've all gotten something out of this class tonight. It is 1 minute past the hour, so I know some of you have a lot to do, but I am inviting you to be here next week. This is going to be another good one. And it is going to be about caregiving calls for a strong inner self. So I will bid you all a good night. Anya, if you have anything else you would like to share, we were happy to promote Kensington Place. What a beautiful facility in Redwood City, California. They are so generous to bring this to all of you caregivers. It is such a delight to be with you. And if at all you can get a chance to visit with Anya, you would love, they have beautiful lunches, they have a beautiful meals, they have a beautiful facility. It is the Rolls Royce of senior living. And this facility, Redwood City, is for people with memory care. And so what better that we're teaching mental, memory, emotional skills than here. Right here in the privacy of your living room or your office. So I really, really thank you all. And if anybody wants to stay on and a question or something I can help you with, I will be on here for a little while. So please join me next week. And I am thrilled that so many are here. Actually, I'm going to tell you a little secret. We had more on here tonight than we did all last series. And I am pleased and thrilled. So thank you again. You're a beautiful group, and you're just going to get more and more self-assured with more confidence and more helpful for your inner self. So have a beautiful evening. I'm going to turn off the recording until next week. So the recording is stopped. So if anybody wants to share anything, go right ahead. Yeah, Madeline, please. I'd love to hear from you.
Oh, hi, Dr. Marsha. It's great to be back today.
You're back.
Yes, we're happy to. Thanks to Anya and you for all the work done to put us back.
Yes, we found you. You're back. You are back.
Yeah.
I'm so thrilled. Good. Good.
I just want to share this letter. I think it's amazing, another amazing session for me.
Oh,
I always
great.
go in again with a little bit of doubt in my head,
Uh-huh.
but at the end of it, all doubts are cleared. And this letter is to my inner child, with my dominant hand. When I started the drawing, I'm not starting on the letter yet. When I started the drawing, I just drew the child with all the things it likes, the people it likes around it. So I didn't think much about the age until you asked me to put in the age. So I was thinking, and all of a sudden it occurred to me, I just put in 6 years old. Yeah. And I wrote this letter, my little Meg. I love you so, so much, more and more each day. You complete me in so many ways. Thank you for coming out to be with me. The drawing I just made of you shows a smiling, happy little girl. But when I wrote your age down as 6, I remember that was a hard and emotionally confusing, angry time for you. Thank you for that pretty smile today, in your face today, and for telling me that you feel wonderful, happy, and so blessed. I thank God so much that despite all the pain you went through at age 6, you remained strong, resilient, and grew up to be a caring and loving person. You're such a beautiful child inside and out. I'm sorry if I had been lost and was disconnected from you from time to time, but I want you to know that now that I have found you, I will never let you go again, and I will love you forever and ever, my love. Love always, Madeline.
Oh, that just brings tears to my heart. How genuine and how loving to apologize to that child and say, to acknowledge that at 6 years old, you went through a hard time. That was absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that experience.
And well, thank you for sharing too, to be brave enough to share that. Yes. And we are so grateful that you're back. We really missed all of you this session. So you're back.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Yes.
I have something to share.
Yes, Catherine, please.
I had a CT scan today and I'm pretty nervous about the results. I'll probably get them tomorrow. And tomorrow's my birthday.
Oh, so happy birthday.
Thank you. My inner child is scared and excited at the same time. I'm going to read the letter I wrote.
Okay.
Dear happy baby, I'm thrilled to see you looking so happy and excited. Your enthusiasm for life is so special. The whole universe is blessed by your appreciation. Thank you for being so patient today. I'm sorry that your birthday is the day we have to get medical results. And I know we need to work on the intro, which I could really use your help with. But I'll make time to do something you'd like to do. And we'll watch our favorite shows in the evening. I love how attuned you are to nature. And I'm sure Shirley Keene and Dr. Lisa share your affection with you. I'm sorry that I don't always pay attention. We'll get closer this month. I love you very much. You're so sweet, the sweetest child.
Isn't that something, Catherine? Wow. And your inner child is going to be so grateful to you tomorrow when you get those results, because you're there for your inner child now. You are there. And I am so grateful to you, Catherine, for attending these sessions so devotedly, and look at your own personal growth. Look at it. It's just incredible. And I bet you even feel differently than you did when you started these classes.
I think so, yes.
More hope, more joy. Well,
yes.
Happy birthday. And it's my little 8-year-old grandson's birthday tomorrow. So that's a special day.
Oh, it
is. May 3rd. There you go. Thank you. We'll see you next week, Catherine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything they want to share before we close? Oh, Madeline's wishing Catherine a happy birthday. Very sweet. Very sweet. Mary, how about you? Go ahead.
Just to say thank you very much to you and Ani for for getting us back on track with you.
Yeah, we got you back.
I just want to share the first question you asked. You asked us to reflect. How do you feel? You asked in a child. And I was just filled with love and happiness, and I completely saw tears coming to my eyes because what I had drawn was just things of love that I had forgotten. So I just want to say thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing, Mary, because you know what? We do forget. In this busy life, we forget those moments and those things that really brought us joy. And sometimes we just have to stop in our tracks and just tune in, because we're so focused out that we're missing that which is so beautiful inside. So again, Mary, thank you for rejoining us. I really said to Kensington, please, 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 please allow our people, our foreigners to be on. And I cannot tell you what joy it brings me now that you're back. So anyway, and I really, and Nancy, that's very sweet. They're very happy that Catherine's back. That's so great. Well, anyway, I'm going to leave you all, but I thank you for a beautiful night. And Linda, Tony Barr, I just pray that you in Oklahoma, Vicki Muir was not on tonight because she said that the storm was coming to Edmonton, Oklahoma, and she was ready to get in the bathtub with her dog to weather out the storm.
Yes, it came through like a tornado and it passed like 7 minutes after you started. So I came out of the closet and said, okay, let's start.
I'm out of the closet. Here I am. Thank God you're okay. Thank you for being here. She just said, I got to hunker down now. So
I was hunkered down. I was. And then it passes pretty quick, but boy, it's scary in the buildup.
everything comes moving through, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But it's great to be here. Thank you.
Yes,
for the
thank you. And I'll
opportunity.
send you the agenda, okay?
Okay, super. Thank
Thanks,
you.
sweetheart. Thank you. And Tatiana, I'll send it to you too, okay? And Lori Jo, I already told her I would send it. If anybody else, again, just
Thank you, Marsha.
all you need to do is just email me and I'll send you also the inner family, because I think that's so important for this whole series, because we are, thanks to Lori Jo and some of the rest of you wanted to know about inner family work. And so we're really gonna focus in on the inner family. And you know, again, my favorite book of all, The Recovery of Your Inner Child. And don't you love what it says on the front? Let me out so I can be creative and heal you. And that's what we're gonna do, these 7 sessions. So good night, everyone. Have a wonderful week. And I will see you, and happy Mother's Day and happy birthdays, and just be happy, okay? Allow your inner child to watch and look and put up that picture of your nurturing parent taking care of your inner child. That's so, so important. Good night.
Thank you, Marsha.
Good
Thank you,
night.
Anya. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Night.